Hello neighbors, Bill here with Addicted to Tone Incorporated, also known as Mr. Takamine USA. Today I'm going to go over how to remove a Takamine preamp from the preamp holder. Now my friend Joe at Takamine did a great job showing how to remove a CT4B2 from the holder, but a lot of you don't have that one, so I'm going to go over some of the other ones. First thing I want to show you is the mounting chassis itself. This is also known as the uniport, and you'll notice that the bottom tab is centered. The top tab is off-centered to the left just a little bit. Now these locking tabs are kind of triangular on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not. But what you want to do is just press those up just enough so they clear the preamp shell. Now you don't want to hyperextend. You don't want to overextend that locking tab, or you'll run the risk of breaking it. Now if you break it off, not to worry, I have more of them if you need one. The preamp actually rests on a ledge, and even if you were to remove both of these locking tabs, the preamp would stay in there pretty securely. I do have couple customers that have removed these locking tabs on purpose because they like trading out their preamps so frequently. I don't recommend that, but you can do it if you want to. Okay, I guess the preamp I get asked most about is the Accuracoustic. Now this removal process will also be the same for the Graphy X and the Takamine Equalizer, officially known as the N4B preamp, and also the Takamine Parametric EQ. Okay, all of these are going to release the same way. Takamine Parametric EQ was the first one out of the gate back in 1988, and a couple years later they revamped it and presented it as the Accuracoustic, a wonderful preamp. Okay, let's put it in the mounting chassis here. Hopefully you'll get to hear it snap into place. I love that. Let's see if you can hear it. Kind of. Okay, to get it out, top snap's pretty easy. You remove the battery compartment, and there's the top snap right there. You can see it pretty well through the battery compartment opening. Now the mystery to these is the bottom snap here in the center. Now instinctively, you don't want to put anything inside of the circuitry. You run the risk of breaking it, but in this case it's all right. It's designed to do that. This, by the way, is the official Takamine preamp removal tool. This was a gift to me from Takamine. I use it every day, but you can make your own quite easily. You can use a nut pick. I like this. It's very elegant. You can make your own version of the paperclip tool that the old Takamine techs used to use. I'll show you how to make one of these if I remember at the end of the video. You can use a popsicle stick, or a coat hanger works very well. I'm going to use a popsicle stick. This one was flavored lime apparently, because it works very well on these slider type units where you have to release the bottom tab through a slider control. Okay, here we go. The top tab, very easy. Just going to reach in there, lift it a little bit. Let me do that again from the top so you can see it. Just a little, not a lot. You don't want to overextend. And then you're going to reach in through the slider. If you're right-handed, you're probably going to go through the base slider. If you're left-handed, you're probably going to go in through the level control. But just slide it in there. I hope you can see this. And pop, boom, just that easy. Now sometimes, and I hope it's going to do it, it did it before while I was testing out the video earlier. Can you see this line right here? This is where the back of the preamp meets the front. Now sometimes, depending on the way the preamp's put together, the back will be slightly elevated, so the snap will get hung up on it. We'll see if that happens. Yeah. See, it's not wanting to come out. Now, not to worry. Usually if you apply a little pressure, it'll snap on over. Now if it doesn't, sometimes they get stuck in there pretty good. If it doesn't, you can reach in there with a pick, a stout pick, stiff pick, or a butter knife even, and kind of help that up. But we don't have to do that today. Okay, next up, I want to talk about the CTP 1 and 2. Now the CTP 1 and 2, if you don't, this is why I brought them both out. If you don't have the battery tray in there, it's hard to tell them apart. I'll show you how you can do it. Okay, here's how you can tell. CTP 2 has horizontally aligned RCA jacks. CTP 1 has vertically aligned. It's the same method to release both. Okay, and my OCD commands that I put the battery tray back in there. I prefer CDO because that's alphabetical. Okay, let's put the mounting chassis on. Hopefully you'll hear it snap. That just pleases me when it snaps. I don't know why. Yeah, it's a good one. Okay, this one's pretty easy. The bottom one, after you remove the battery tray, you can fill with your finger practically. You can almost get it out with your finger. You could use popsicle stick. You could use the paperclip, coat hanger. The one I like to use is the nut pick for this one, and I'll explain why. The nut pick is flat on the bottom, so when you put it into the access hole here, some people make the mistake of using the bottom of the access hole as leverage. They want to push down on it, and when you do that, you can make an indent there. You will mar that, which is no big deal. It doesn't tear anything up. But if you're like me, when you're playing, you look down, you get thinking about that dent there, and before you know it, you've dropped a few notes. So anyway, the nut pick with the flat bottom is perfect for this. You just put it right in there, and you notice my finger here, I'm lifting up. I'm not using the bottom of that hole for leverage. I'm lifting up. See, pops right up there. Let me see if I can do it from the side so you can see it better. Let me see, make sure I got it aligned. Yeah, there we go. And then the bottom one, easy peasy. You don't have to press it far, just enough to clear the shell, which is about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, I guess. CTP 1 tray, back install. TK40, much the same way. G series, you would access the top. The top now is off center to the left. You would access the top. Here we use paperclip tool on this one. Access the top through the battery compartment. Usually I put my finger through it like a ring. Lift it up, flip it over, and release the bottom tab. Alright, just that easy. Now you notice some names on these. I don't want to bust anyone's anonymity, but I do want to thank all the fellows that sent these old defective units to me for the reference library. This is exactly what I use them for. I use them for research and to help other musicians. Thank you very much, fellas. I do appreciate it. The CTP3 and CT4DX are a couple of the newer preamps. I love these. These are some of the easiest ones to get out of the shell. Preamp mounting shell. Let me install the CT4DX. Now these are cool. They release, the whole preamp comes out to change the batteries, and you'll notice you can actually see the bottom tab and the top tab. So really, you can use your pinky finger to pop that right out. Pretty easy. Same on the CTP3 Cool Tube preamp. Very nice. I'll show you that one real quick, just so you know. Pull it out. There's the tab. And top tab, I'll send it to the left, and there it is, just that quick. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Bill, I don't have one of the newer ones. I've got that weird old brown one, the old brown. I get asked about this sometimes. What you want to do is, this is the way I do it anyway, you carefully drip lighter fluid on these metal strips, these sticker strips, to loosen the adhesive so they'll pop off. Now someone has already done these and they weren't super careful, so these are a little bent. But once you get these, because you're going to want to glue these back on, you want to keep them as straight as possible. Now once you remove those sticker strips, you'll see that there's a mounting bolt right there. There's also one right here. Now I've seen people actually poke their screwdriver right through those strips. I'm not a fan of doing that. I like to keep things as clean as possible. But anyway, you would remove these two bolts, and this will slide right out, and you can work on the circuitry. Fun fact, that bolt looks like this. Okay, now in true Takamine efficiency, I love this. This excites me. It's the same bolt they use for the steel string palathetic pickup, which we also stock here if you were to need one. Also got the crystals. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. That's awesome. We got those screws. So also the screw they use for the palathetic steel string pickup base, and check this out, also the screw that they use to put the old pickup backs on with, the exact same one. Now that's just a great thing. Right there, same thing, same one. Now before I forget, I'm going to show you how to make that paperclip tool. Now paperclips aren't as sturdy as they used to be, so the newer ones aren't going to work quite as well. But what you do, you start paperclip, bend the top one up, get you some long nose pliers, bend this up about, I don't know, about 45 degrees. You see that? Okay. Grab it right in the middle, kind of at a 90. Alright. You're going to bend this all the way around until it meets the center point. And that's a pretty good one. You're going to clip the end, and you just made a replica of the old Takamine Preamp removal tool. Now there's one more I'm going to show you so you don't feel left out. The TK4NT and the TK4. Okay, these are, I hope you don't have one of these. The problem with these is the snaps always break. See, the receptacle is broke on this one, but usually it's these snaps. But I just had a fella ask me how to remove the receptacle from his guitar, so I'm going to show you that real quick, because it's pretty easy. And that's a bit of circuitry. These I don't know what to call them, these metal tabs right here. If you look closely, you'll see that they have a metal hole, or an opening, a hole. And here's one you can see. All you got to do is grab that in that hole and slide it out, okay? And it'll come right out. You do all of them that way. Well, that one fell out. Get the idea, though. Here, let me put some pressure on that so it doesn't come out as easy. You just lift it up and pop it right out. Now you would put these back in the same way. Now the shell of the guitar is right here, so to reinstall it, you would press this in. Okay, that's going to press up against the wood, and if you look very closely, you can see that the preamp receptacle, oh, I hope you can see this, the preamp receptacle actually has a little ridge right there that the front of this little piece of metal rests against. Pretty clever design. I hope you don't have one, because they do tend to break, and there's no replacement for it. Don't even ask me, I don't have any parts. Alright, keep playing, keep grinning, play the guitar, make the world a better place. Talk to you next time.